everyone, it is the end of April, so you know what that means. It is quarantine assumptions, what I've been consuming in quarantine, aka my review of what I've been consuming in April. So let's start with TV shows. This month has been pretty busy, so I haven't been consuming as much. So it's going to be a short one. We started and finished the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. What did I like about it? Classic Marvel show, you know, all the classic fighting sequences and the humor, and essentially, you know, it follows the Falcon, played by Anthony Mackie, and Winter Soldier, played by Sebastian Stan, and the aftermath of the blip, and kind of is the origin story for Anthony Mackie / Falcon to take on the mantle of Captain America. So that's the plot. In general, you know, you can't go wrong with Marvel, minus a few other movies, but in general, classic Marvel show, shot in the same way that a typical Marvel movie is shot. What I didn't like about it, not too much actually. I did enjoy it a lot. I wish that Chris Evans made a cameo at the very last episode or something to show, you know, what he's doing. But there are also a lot of unanswered questions about Sharon and like, oops, sorry, I just kicked my dog. About Sharon and like how did she, spoiler alert, become the power broker? Like how did that happen? And was she always, you know, a double agent sort of character? It would have been nice to see that story get fleshed out a bit more. Really liked how they talked about PTSD with Bucky's character and how you can move on, or how to move on from, you know, your past. Would I recommend watching it? Yes, I would. I would recommend it. Definitely like a good show to watch. Popcorn, lots of action, good enough humor. You know, I would recommend it. Rating. I would rate it 4 out of 5 America's ass. Does that make sense? 4 out of 5. It's a good watch, but I felt like they could have fleshed out some of the plots, some of the stories. I mean, if you're gonna make a series, you know, that's your biggest opportunity, is to flesh out some storylines. So I wish I did that, or made the series a little longer. Anyways, the next show that I binged is a show on Hulu called High Fidelity, and it's based on a book that I actually read this month, and I wanted to watch it because reading the book was interesting. I'll talk about that later. But the show stars Zoe Kravitz, and basically it talks about her all-time top 5 desert island heartbreaks and how it has affected her. And she goes on a journey to understand why these people have left her or have broken up with her, and what is it that she lacks, or you know, what are some revelations that she has to go through to understand, to be able to have a long-term relationship with someone. overall, I really liked it. They had some good jokes, a lot of real life heartbreak trauma that they go through. I liked how they shot it. It's very similar to, there is a movie, a very old movie that's based on the book as well, obviously called High Fidelity. I never watched it, but I saw the trailer for it, and it stars John Cusack, not Joan Cusack, and it's kind of shot in the same style, very like breaking the fourth wall, the main characters talking straight to the camera about their innermost thoughts. So it's shot in that way, which I like. And the actors are great in it. Zoe Kravitz, never saw anything with her in it, I don't think. So it was my first time, and she surprised me with her acting chops, to be honest. Really great acting and conveying those emotions. And she kind of made this unlikable character kind of likable. And yeah, so I enjoyed it. What didn't I like? There's not much I didn't like. I think that a lot of it was well done. It is only 10 episodes. When you read the book, you'll realize that there's a lot of things that they cut out, and they have adapted it to a female protagonist because the book is based on a male protagonist. So it was interesting to see what the choices that they made for the show that differ from the book. I feel like I should watch the movie to compare all three, but maybe next month. Would I recommend it? I would recommend it if you like a certain type of show, because it's not like action packed, and it's not necessarily melodramatic. So if you are, interested in those kinds of shows, then I would recommend it. But if you get bored of it, or you like more action or more rom-com or whatever, it's not really gonna be up your alley. Like, it has a hipster vibe, like a very strong hipster vibe. Rating, I would rate it also 4 out of 5. Yes, 4 out of 5. Yeah. So moving on to movies, I didn't really watch like any movies. The only movie I watched was Detective Pikachu, which I actually it had a higher, like, I went in with low expectations, none at all, but it turned out better than I thought. Basically, I don't really follow Pokemon that much or that closely, but kind of follows this guy whose dad got murdered, and so he finds his dad's Pokemon pal, I don't know what they're called, their mate, Pokemon mate, which is Pikachu, and they go and they try to find out what happened. So there are some good parts of the movie. I really liked the acting, the plot's pretty good, and in general, the way they portray the Pokemon isn't too bad. They're like live action cartoons, so they definitely made it, they stuck true to the way the Pokemon looked, and they also made them cute, which is probably one of the appeal of Pokemon. And it has this like dark film noir like shooting style for parts of the movie, which is interesting. Like they're trying to portray it as gritty and dark, which I don't hate. The bad part is that it is kind of predictable. It's pretty predictable because it is that kind of movie, and you know, you can call pretty much what will happen. But would I recommend it? I'd recommend it if you are a big fan of Pokemon, or you have kids. Pretty kid-friendly movie. Other than that, I don't think you would enjoy it if you're not that into Pokemon. Rating for it, 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. I just feel like they whitewashed a lot of the history of Pokemon. I would have loved to see a bit more Asian influences, because it was created in Japan, right? In Japan. So yeah, that was kind of missing, so I just give it 3 out of 5. For podcasts, so I've been listening to this podcast for a while now, and I really love it. It's called Smartless, and it is a podcast with Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes. 3 of literally the most funniest actors ever. I am a huge fan of Jason Bateman. I love his humor. His dry sense of humor cracks me up. So there's a lot of that, and they basically interview people. So one of the hosts will bring in somebody that the other 2 don't know who it is yet, and then they do the reveal during the interview, and then they go through that interviewing process. So I really love it if you're a big fan of either 3 of them, and you love, you know, interview podcasts, which I personally really love. Definitely recommend that. I don't have anything bad to say about that podcast at all. So 5 out of 5, just right out the gate, 5 out of 5. Listen to their podcast. And for music wise, obviously Fearless, Taylor's version, came out, and have been listening to that non-stop. Definitely recommend if you're a big Taylor Swift fan. Obviously you don't need me to tell you that if you are a Taylor Swift fan, but I really like it. It's been on rotation for sure. For books, I mentioned it earlier on, but I read High Fidelity. High Fidelity, which is basically about a guy. Is based in London or UK, somewhere there, and I can tell by the way the word choices that they make. And he and his longtime girlfriend break up, and he kind of spirals into a reevaluating what does this all mean kind of rabbit hole. So he contacts his top 5 breakups, his girlfriends, past ex-girlfriends, and understands, you know, what went wrong. Why did they break up with him? Why did they leave? And why, you know, things like that. At first I was hesitant about the book because it was somewhat sexist and there's undertones, which I didn't really like, but it kind of grew on me because as he's taking this journey to reflect on himself and his behaviors, he becomes a little bit more likable, and you start to feel for the guy and kind of understand that, you know, it's not entirely his fault. I don't know if I recommend the book. It's an interesting read, but I would give it like a 3 out of 5 because I guess because it is in London, some of the words are hard to understand, and I can't feel for them the way I would normally do because I don't know what the hell they're saying. But if you want to read a book where the protagonist is sort of like an anti-hero kind of character, this book is for you. And if you're interested in like relationships and things like that, then definitely recommend that. But I wouldn't say this is like my favorite book to read. So that's that. And that is everything. That is all the books, TV shows, movies, podcasts, music that I've consumed in April. Not a lot. Been kind of busy, so haven't had the time. But hopefully May is a different month. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.